Okay, so hello everyone. This is day 9 of our full stack data science with Gen AI and Agentic AI course. Okay, so this is not just a course, but it is a training course. Okay, so in this video, we are going to discuss about Pandas library. What is Pandas library? We will discuss it in detail. Basically, it is a Python library which is used for data manipulation and analysis, right? Like if the developers or data scientists work on the manipulation or analysis role, so they use what Pandas library very often. Why? Because this Pandas library provide to handle large set of the data. Okay, so we will discuss it in detail. In earlier lectures, we have discussed about NumPy. Okay, so if I ask you NumPy, what is NumPy? So you should remember about it because we have already discussed about NumPy. We have practiced so many things in it. So basically, in one line, you can say NumPy is what? NumPy is a multi-dimension arrays. Okay, so with NumPy, what we do, we basically handle multi-dimensions arrays, right? And the full form of NumPy is what? Numerical Python. Okay, so here we deal with numbers, right? When we talk about plotting graph, okay, then what we use? We use Matplotlib. Okay, so what is this Matplotlib? This is also a Python library which help us to visualize the data. The data which is generated by NumPy, that data you can visualize using Matplotlib. So why we use Matplotlib? In simple way, you can say for the visualization. Okay, so what we do, we basically visualize the data. So for the visualization task, we use Matplotlib. Now we are going to discuss about pandas, right? So why do we use pandas? So basically, panda is what? Python library used for manipulation and analysis. Okay, and in short, you can say pandas is used to create data frame. Okay, so data frame is what? Two-dimension data. Means here we talk about in data frame, it is a collection of rows and columns. Okay, data frame, what you can say? Collection of rows and column. Okay, so let's see about it. So here we have written the definition as well. What is pandas? Python library for data manipulation and analysis. Okay, it is used for manipulation as well as analysis. Here you will listen some terms like series, data frame, and dataset. So what is the mean by series, data frame, and dataset? So series, in short, you can say series means 1D, one dimension labeled array. It is like single row data in one dimension, means in a array like structure. Okay, so that is what series data. When we talk about data frame, so what is data frame? 2D table. Table means a table is what? A table is a collection of rows as well as columns. Okay, so collection of rows and columns, that is what? Data frame. Here you will listen about dataset as well. So please understand before going into the coding practice, understand these technical terms, right? So dataset is what? Collection of structured data. What is the mean by structured data? Can be can be a data frame or multiple data frame. It can be a data frame or multiple data frame. Means structured data means in the form of rows and column, right? Okay, and data set is what? Basically collection of data. It is what? Data set, right? So this data we can get from the database in the form of Excel. Okay, let me tell you about few extension name. If you already know about it, that's really great, because whenever you will work with Pandas library, you need to import the data set. And how you will import the data set in correct manner when you have understanding about extension of each data type. Okay, I mean extension of each file. For example, if there is a file called .csv, so what is the mean of csv files? So this file is nothing but this is the comma separated, b stand for value, right? Comma separated value, this is the full form of this csv extension. Let's suppose if there is a file .xl. So .xl means this is which file? This is the Excel file. .pdf means which file it is? This is what? PDF document. Okay. When there is a file called .txt. Okay. Can you see this file is what? TXT file. So TXT file means this is what? Text file. Right? .xml. If the file extension is .xml, so what do you understand by this? This is what? XML document, right? Next is, let's suppose if the file name is IPYNB. Okay, so on this file we are working previously, right? So what's the full form of it? Interactive Python notebook, right? Okay, if the file type is what? .py, it means what? This is what? Python file. .jpeg means this file type is what? Image file. Okay, if the extension is .jpg, it is also a image file. Okay, so what I'm telling, why I'm telling you this extension, because there is a reason behind it. Okay, so let's try to write the code. Okay, so here I have opened the VS Code. So in this VS Code I have created one file which is pandas.ipynb. Okay, the moment you will write .pynb file extension, okay, so you will see this type of interface. But still you are not getting this interface, then you have to watch the extension video where I discussed about the important extension of VS Code for the data science. So that extension you need to install first, then you can come back here. Right, so let me click on this code button. Then what I have to do, I have to import the okay, so here we have pandas guide. Okay, so here you can see how we can import the file. So we can import the file while writing import pandas as pd. So pandas is what? Library name, I mean library name nahi, library name. ठीक है, so pandas is what? Pandas library name, and pd means the alias name, right? So if you will run this, you will see there is no error. Okay, it is asking which one you want to select. So I want to select the panda environment only. So it is connecting to kernel, so it will take a moment. still executing. Why it is taking this much time? Okay, let it take the time. Okay, so what I'm trying to say you, whenever we talk about data set, whenever we talk about data set, so what does it means? Data set. So data set means this is what Excel sheet. Okay, data set is what Excel sheet. And from where Excel sheet comes? Excel sheet can come from database. Okay, because it has data. Excel sheet would contain the data in the form of rows and columns, and that is known as data set in technical, right? Okay, let me just see what happening here. Okay, it is continuously running. Okay, let me just go here. Let me write here. Import pandas as PD. Is it mandatory to write PD? No, you can write here your name as well. Why we are writing PD? So that we can easily call the pandas library. Okay, so let me just run this shell. So I want to select this pandas environment. Okay, so if it will not, okay, so it has started executing, so it has executed, there is no error. Okay, now what is the next step? We have to read the data set. Okay, so data set, I told you what is data set. Data set is nothing but Excel sheet, right? So we already have one data set which I will provide to you as well. So this is what comma separated value means. This is an Excel file. Okay, so here we have data in the Excel format. I have installed the extension, that is why I am able to see the Excel sheet here. If you're not able to see, so you can open this in Excel. Okay, so I can copy the path. I can press window plus R. I can paste here the path of that data.csv, and I can click OK, and it will show me the Excel sheet. Okay, so here is our Excel data. Okay, so how many rows are there? There are 196 rows. Okay, so we will use this data set in our code. Okay, so how to use it in our data? Okay, I mean how we can use it in our code, how we can analyze this data. What I will do, I'll create one more code cell. Here I will write pd dot read. Okay, so we have different functions. See, when you want to read CSV file, so this function you will use. When you want to read the Excel file, this function you will read. When you read HTML file, JSON file, so we have different functions for different extensions file. So what our data set is, what format? .csv extension. Our data set containing .csv extension. That is why we will use here, we will take here read CSV function, and here I need to mention the path of our data set. Okay, so how to get the path of this data set? Can you see this? It is coming C drive users. Okay, when I hover it, you can see the C drive users and name OneDrive desktop, like that it is coming. So I will just right click over it and I will copy path. Can you see copy path? I will copy the path, right click on it, and I will paste it here. Right. So this is till data .csv. So it is under pandas folder. Can you see pandas folder here? So this pandas folder inside the test0 folder, and outside the test0 folder, fsd folder, desktop folder. So this is a complete path, right? If you will execute it, it is giving error. Why it is giving error? Let me tell you. Because we have this skip sequence. Okay, so for example, if I write here n, if I write here backslash n, okay, why it is not coming? Okay, so if I write here n, so n means here what? New line. This is the new line. So that this is how it is understanding skipping sequence. So what I have to say? I have to say this is the row path. Raw path. Okay. So in order to make it raw path, you need to put R here. The moment you will write R here, so it will not consider it as a skip sequence. Okay, because backslash n is a new line, backslash t is a tab. Okay, so like that it understand. So that is why we need to put here R. So let me run this now. So can you see this data is coming? Okay, so this data is coming, right? So as you can see here, this data is same. First column is what? Country name, then country code. Okay, so like that it is showing country name, country code, birth rate, okay, and internet users, income group, or like that. So this is how we have read the data. Did you understand, guys? What we have done? We have done two steps. One is import the pandas library. Second is what? Read the data from data.csv file. Okay, this is nothing but just a simple Excel format file. Right. Next, what we can do? We can create the object of this path. Okay, because I don't want to write it again and again dot pd dot read csv, because once we got the location of this data, let's just create an object which is df. Df is nothing but data frame. This is short form of the like data frame, right? So Python is what? Object oriented programming language. That is how we are creating the object of this file. Okay, so how to create? Just write here df. So df is an object which is nothing but data frame. Let's just run it one more time. Okay, so we have data frame. So if you will write here df, instead of writing this much large path, you just mention here df data frame, and you can run it. You can see all the data is coming, all the values from the Excel sheet it is coming, right? Next, what we can do, if you want to see how many number of rows are there, right? If you want to see number of rows, okay, check number of rows in data set. How you can check? So you will write here, you will write here what you can write? You can write here length function. The length function is Python function, or we can say it is a global function. So here you will write df. Df means data frame. So it will tell the data frame length. So how many rows are there in data frame? 195. Correct? Let's suppose if you want to see the columns, okay, column names. If you want to print only the columns name, columns are what? Basically, when we talk about columns, so column is what? Columns are nothing but attribute. Column are nothing but attribute. Okay, so just wait a minute, guys. Okay, so let me just write for you here as well. So when we talk about columns, so technically columns, we call it features, okay, or we can call it attribute, or we can call them variable. Okay, these all are the same thing. Correct? Okay, so how to check the columns? So you can write here df dot columns. Okay, and df dot shape, what it will do, it will tell you the rows and column. Okay, number of rows and number of columns. Shape function will tell you number of rows and columns. So let's do one thing. Number of check check number of, okay, number of columns, I mean rows and columns, right? So how we can check? So as you already know, we can write here pd dot shape. Okay, so if you will write pd dot shape, okay, pandas, okay, not pd, but we can write here df because data frame, okay, pd we have stored in the data frame. So we can write here data frame dot shape. You can see here 195 number of rows, columns are what, 5. You can see here columns 1, okay, column 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So how many columns are there? 5 columns. Right, next what we have to do, data frame columns. Okay, so if you want to print the columns specifically, you will write here df dot columns and you can run this shell. Is it marked down? Well, let me just delete it first. Delete, take the code, df dot columns, run it. You can see all the columns. Okay, and if you want to check number of columns, only check number of columns, not rows. So what you can do, you can write here length function, you can write here columns. What you will get, sorry, columns of what? Column of data frame. Okay, how do we get this data frame object? From the data set. Okay, and how many columns are there? 5. Correct. How many features are there? 5. How many attributes are there? 5. How many variables are there? 5. Right, so these are the different name. Next, so let's check is null, whether our dataset containing null values or not. How we will get? How we will get to know? We will write here. We will write here df dot is null. So is null function will tell you whether it is containing null values or not. So it is not containing null values. That is why it is showing like this. If I will delete this, save it. Okay, it is not able to, we are not able to delete it. So let's just delete it and save it. Okay, can we open it? Okay, so data is missing here. So can we run it? Okay, try to run it now. Okay, okay. What's the problem here? Let me just open it again. Okay, here data is missing. So, okay, just wait a minute. Let's talk about this df dot is null function. What does it do actually, right? Okay, so this in is null function, what it do actually, it checks for missing values in data set, or we can say data frame. The data set or and data frame both are the same thing, right? So missing values. Sometimes we write missing values as NaN. What's the mean of NaN? Not a null. Okay, so we write, oh sorry, not a null. It's not a number basically. Okay, in dataset or data frame. Okay, so it returns. Okay, is null returns true. It returns what? It returns true. When it returns true, it returns true when missing the value is there. Return true for missing value. Okay, correct understanding, guys? Is null returns false for what? For not missing value. If value is not missing, then it will return false. Okay, so sometime what happens when we delete the data. Okay, for example, if I'm deleting this data and I'm deleting this complete row data, okay, and I'm writing here NaN. Okay, NaN is what? Not a number. I'm just copying it, pasting it here, pasting it here. Otherwise, I can drag it as well. Okay, right. Let me just save it. Let me just save this file. Okay, saved. So what will happen? So what will happen if you will see this data set? So here what you are getting all the NaN, but if you will run this, still you are not getting here true. When data is missing, it should return true. Why it is not returning true? Why? Because we need to reload the data frame. Dataset we need to reload. Okay, when we are accessing data, this is earlier previous data because that time we executed, and now we need to execute the cell once again. So it has executed successfully, as you can see here. Now what we have to do, we have to just run this is null. Okay, so can you see this entire row is showing true because your data is missing, right? Your data is what? Missing. Only one column data is there. That is why it is displaying what? False. And otherwise it is displaying true. But if you will delete this all the values, okay, sometimes space is the value and sometimes space is not a value. So if it is not accepting space, what you can do, you can use any n for the null values. But anyway, it will work. So what I need to do, I need to just, okay, before running it, let's try to uh, remove some more data from here and there. So this data we have removed, save it, and just go here. Now just run the cell once again. Okay, so cell executed. Now just go down, just run this function once again. So can you see true, false, true, true? Okay, so it is coming like this. Why it is coming like this? Because when there is a null value, it will return true, otherwise it will return false. I hope you guys clear. Now let me just keep my data correctly in the original format. Okay, so save it. Okay, now let's just run it one more time to get the existing updated data. Now just run it again. Now you can see all the values are false, false, false means data is available. Next, what we have to discuss? Let's discuss about is null dot sum. It will tell like this particular column containing how many null values. So as we know, it is not containing any null values. That is why it will say each feature sum is 0. Tf dot is null dot sum function. Okay, data frame, what it is saying? df is null function or object sum. Okay, is null is a function, right? Yes, is null is a function. Okay, so can you see what it is displaying? It is displaying 000. Why? Because there is no null value. That's why it's not giving the count. df.info. What this df.info will give you, it will return the information about the data set. Okay, so it is displaying what? Column. It is telling total columns. It is saying non-null, count d type. Okay, and it will telling the type of the data. Okay, means data type of the column. This column containing how many values? 195 values and not null values. Okay, let me just do something. Let's remove some data from here, some data from here, some data from here. Okay, let's save it once. Let's just scroll up, run this cell. Okay, it's taking time, taking time. Okay, stop it, run it once again. I think we need to reopen the ideally. Okay, restarting. It is restarting the kernel. Okay, alright. Import pandas spd run. Now just run it. Okay, it has run. So let me run just this is null sum. So we have to check the sum of null values. So in this column, 4 values are missing. In this column, 4 values are missing. And in this income group, 6 values are missing. So it is telling like this. And now just run it. So if you will see here, what we are getting here. So here we have 195 non-null values. Here 191 null value, non-null values, because remaining 4 values are null from this rows. That is why it is saying. Okay. So if you will see country code, so here you can see country code, how many missing values? 4. So 195 minus 4 is 191. So it is giving count like this. From this income group column, how many values are missing? 6 values. That's why 189 is not null values. Data type of this float and object. Correct? Okay, so like that it is working. Let's keep the data original. That's nice. Let me just run it one more time. Okay, next, what we have to do next? Okay, so now let's discuss one interview question here. Okay, so this is one of the popular interview question asked in data science interview or data analysis roles interview. So what's the question? The question is, why Python library, which is pandas, why Python library, why Python is required when or we can say required if I can do it in Excel. In Excel also we can do this, whatever we are doing here, operations, that is also we can do with Excel. Like when you are talking about analysis of data, that is also we can do in Excel, right? So because Excel also provide the functionalities. So what is the answer? The answer is what? Answer is you can give the answer in this way. Excel, okay, number of rows in Excel. How many total number of rows in Excel? So there are 1048, okay, 1048 and 5, okay, 5, 7, 6. Okay, so number of rows in Excel is 10,48,576. So these many rows only there in Excel. So means we can say Excel is what? Excel Excel sheet can handle limited data. Okay, when there are when there are 1 crore rows of data, then Excel Excel will not work. Okay, so means large data we cannot handle by the Excel. Okay, that is why to handle the large data set we required Python. Okay, when you want to do the automation task, then also you required what? Python. When you want to support like advanced data analysis and visualization, then also Python is required. When you want to integrate with database APIs and other programming tasks, that is on then also the Python required. And in Python, data cleaning, filtering, merging and transformation of data is easy. Okay, and if you will do this in Excel, so there will be a lot of manual efforts will be there, right? So that is the question. Okay, next what we have to do. Okay, so let's just complete this also. So let me just run it once again. Okay, run. If you will run this, so it is coming like this. Okay, no issue. Some is coming like this, right? So in guide, what we have seen, we have to execute the info as well. So data information, if you want to take the data set information, so data frame dot info. Okay, so this is the data information is there. Okay, so next is what? Pandas 2. So here you can see we can import like this. Okay, so this is how we can see the data. This stats is what? Stats is the object of this pandas function. What we are doing, basically we are reading the data and this stats is there, and here we can write the path. And you already know why we use R. We are to escape the like if there is a backslash escape sequence, so that is why we use R for the raw path, right? So when there is a CSV file, then you will write read CSV. HTML file, you will write read underscore HTML. Okay, then if you want to check the length, means number of rows, then what you will do, you will write length and stats like this we have discussed. Okay, so there is one function which is head. So it will give you top 4 rows. It will give you top 4 rows information. Let's see. So here I will write df dot data frame. Okay, let me just delete this one. Data frame dot top. Okay, sorry, what's the function name? Head. Df dot head. Okay, so run it. So how many columns information we are getting? five, okay, 5 rows information we are getting. Why? Because it's starting with 0, correct? And if you will give the arguments like 2, so it will give you 2 rows information. So let me write here. So what we can do, df dot head, and we will write here 2. So 2 rows information. If you will write here 3, so 3 rows information. If you will write here 10, so 10 rows information, 0 to 9. Understanding, guys? Yes. Okay, from bottom rows, if you want to get the bottom rows information, so what you will write, tail. Okay, tail function you will write. So data frame df is the Python object, data frame object, df dot tail. Okay, so last 4 rows information, I mean 5 rows information. Okay, so if you will write here df dot tail, and here if you will write 3, so last 3 rows information, df dot tail, last 1 row information, you can see it. Okay, why it is 94? And if you will see here in dataset, so how much rows are there? What is the count? You will see the count is 196. Okay, but values are what? From, if you will remove this row from the 196 values, so total 195 rows are there. If you will remove this features row, so 195 are there, and it is start from 0. Okay, here it is start the values from 0. So for example, if I run here df dot head, okay, so it is start from 0. So from 0 to 94 means total 95 rows. So if you want to check the rows, so what you can do, you can write here df length dot df, and you will see how many rows, 195. Okay, and it does not include the features row, right? So next one is what? Okay, so if you want to get subsetting a data frame in pandas, means rows, columns, okay, combine the two. Okay, if you will combine the rows and columns, so here you can write how Python knows that only this row based on index. Okay, so based on index you can select from this row to this particular row I want to select. So what you can write here, I can write here. Okay, so where is the code? Okay, not is, let me just delete it first. Okay, code. So df, what we have to write here? Okay, we have to write df, and we can select from 0 to 4. Okay, run it. So how many rows it has select? 0 to 3, because the last value is excluded, right? And if you will write here 3 to df data frame 3 to like 30, so 3 to 29 rows it will select. Okay, 29 rows it has selected. So like that you can slice the rows. Okay, and if you will write here empty means from 0 to till last. Okay, total 195 rows into columns. Okay, so df, how does it work? 0 to n minus 1. N minus 1 means the last row. So if you will write here colon only, so 0 is the start value, stop value is n minus 1. So total how many rows? 195, 5, and 5 columns are there. So 0 to how many? 9. 10 is excluded. Okay, so if you will not write anything, this is a start value. If you will not give the start, so start by default 0, and if you will write here 10, 10 means 0 to 9. How many values? 0 to 9 values. Correct. Next is what? Head 10 means top 10 rows. Okay, -1 means from last it will print. It will start printing from last, from reverse order. Okay, so we will write here df colon colon -5. So let me just take the -1. Okay, so it will start from last row. Okay, last to first. Okay, if you will print the data frame, so it will print the all the rows in 0 to n-1 manner. Okay, so if you will give step value is 20, so after printing 0th it will skip 20 values. Okay, so 20th one it will print, then 40th one it will print, right? So if I write here df, let me just delete it, df, and here let me write here 10. So what it will do, 0, then 10th, and 20th, 30th, like that. Okay, if I write here 20, so 0, then 20th row, like that it is printing. Okay, so we are playing with data. Okay, dot columns, so it will print the columns. We have seen this. Okay, country name dot head. So what it will do, we have to write here which column values you want to print, and if you will write head, so it will print 4 values of that particular column, right? So we can write here what, here we can write df data frame, and what is the column, so make sure that you are picking up the correct column name. So let me just take the country name, and df, what we have to do, we have to mention the country name and dot head, run it. So as you can see here, 5 column value it is printing, and it is telling name of the feature is what, country name, data type is what, object. Okay, and if you want to print df, and if you want to print specific top rows, you can write here too. Okay, so it is printing 2 values, right? Next, what we have to see, now let's suppose if you want to see 2 columns information all together. So in this you have to write 2 values. Okay, so what you will do here, here you will write df and square bracket, and here you will write first column name, which is country name, and second column name is what, second column name is like income group, or we can take this name, birth rate. Make sure you are giving in this comma single quotes, then you will write here head, you can run it. So 2 column information all together it is printing, right? How many values you want to see, you just directly can mention here. Okay, 0 to 8 means 9 records, right? So here what you can do, you can do the slice from where to where you want to see the columns values, that you can do. So let's try it. df, you can try with me guys, everyone. So birth rate as well as country. Okay, let me just check whether we are writing correct. Okay, the spelling mistake, country, code, and it should be in the square bracket. Okay, and we have to tell from where to where. Let's just close it. And what we have to do, we have to tell it from here to here. Means from this point to this point, I want to print. So I can say from 0, I mean from 4 to 10. Okay, so just run it. So you can see 4 to 9 because n minus 1. 10 is what, n minus 1 is 9 because starting with from 4 and last point is excluded. Stop point is excluded. Okay, that is also you can do. Okay, you can perform the mathematical operation as well, right? Okay, so if you want to perform mathematical operations, so here what we are doing, we are trying to multiply two columns. One is birth rate and second one is internet user. So in the dataset, you can see here birth rate column is there. Okay, internet users as well as birth rate. So these two columns data we want to multiply. So how we can do this? So we will write stats here. The object is what stats, but in our case the object is df. Df is nothing but object, and df is data frame. Data frame of which column? Internet user multiplication with df dot birth rate. Okay, so I just want to multiply and I just want to see the result. So here is the result, you can see, right? So this is a multiplication of two columns, right? And after that, let's discuss about another thing, which is add a column. So if you want to add a column, what you can do, you can write here object name, then you will write column name, and you can multiply two columns and the result will be stored into the new column, right? It's easy, right? So what we can do, a data frame which is object and new column name, any name you can give, but let me just use the same name, which is my calculation. Okay, and here I want to store the result of df dot internet user multiply by df dot birth rate. Okay, let's just execute it now. And yeah, so in order to print we will use here head. So now if you will see here, okay, so if you will take the information df dot head, so what it is doing, it is printing another column. Okay, it has added another column and here you can see the result, right? But in our excel sheet there is no extra column added, correct? So this is conceptually added here. Next we have to discuss about this drop function. Okay, so before discussing the drop function, let's try to understand about it, like how this drop function work and what is this drop function. So here you will write df dot drop. Okay, drop function, and what it do actually, so it is used to delete rows or columns. If you want to delete rows or columns from a data frame, then you can use drop. Okay, so in the drop you will see two parameters. One is axis. If the axis value is 1, what is the mean of this? Axis value 1 means, okay, so here axis value 1 means, you can say means drop a column, right? Right? And if the axis value is 0 assigned, it means what it will do? Means drop a row. Okay, so it will work like this. What the syntax? What is, for example, let me write here example. So example one, you can see example one is what you are writing, like df dot drop, and here you are writing column name. So let's suppose column name is age and axis is 1. So what it will do? It will delete the column name. Okay, so delete, can I write here? So delete deletes the column name. What's the column name? It will delete the age. Right. Now example 2. Okay, df dot drop. Okay. So here what we will do? Here we will say if you are writing df dot drop, okay, and here what you are mentioning 3 and axis is what 0. So what do you want to do? You want to delete the row, delete the row with index 3. Okay, so it will delete the row with index 3. So this is how it works. Let's just see here. So what it will do, it will remove the column. Okay, so 1 means it will remove the column, 0 means it will delete the row. Okay, so in our data frame there is a column which is MySQL. So how you can drop? You will write here data from, then you will write drop, and here you will write the column name. So MySQL, right? MySQL, and after that what you can do? After that you can write here axis. So you can mention here axis is what? 1. 1 is for column, right? So 1 is for column. So it will remove the column. Let's just run it. Okay, so if you will see, there is no mycalc column, right? So this is how it works. Next is what if you want to remove the row. Okay, I mean if you will try to do it again, it will give the error. Okay, because the column is already deleted. So if I just copy it and if I will run it one more time, Okay. Not giving error. Okay, because data that column is not there. So anyway, so if you want to print a column with its index, so you can do it. So df data frame, and if you will write to, so what it will do, what happens? One, or if I write df data frame is coming, what's the mistake we are doing? Okay. So not like this, but we have to write here columns and the column index. Okay, so this is second, this is zeroth column. Okay, and this is the first column. As you can see, first column is what? Country code. Okay, zeroth column, and the first column, the second column is what? Birth rate. Second column is birth rate. So like that with index we can do it. So the internet users less than 2, the value is less than 2. So what it will do? We are checking given condition if it's correct, true or false, right? So what will happen here? So let me just check it. Df dot column. Okay, internet. What we have to write here? We have to write, okay, directly we can write the feature name, internet. Df dot internet user less than 2. Run it. So it is giving false, less than 30. False and true it is giving. Okay, so the value which is less than 30 it will give true. Okay, the value which is greater than 30 it will give false. So now we have stat filter. It will take that row which are false. Okay, so what it will do basically, okay, so it will perform the filter operation. Okay, so it is used to apply conditions. Let me tell you about it. So for example, df, here we are using filter. Okay, so what is the mean of this? Used to apply condition and return only the match matching rows. Correct? Examples are what? Example one is, example one we can say df. Okay, and here data frame, we are writing one condition like if let's suppose age greater than 25 or 27, then what should happen? Okay, so based on this it should return specific rows. Second example is df df age. Okay, or we can say df dot df and city, and this city is equivalent to Delhi. Okay, then what it do? Return rows where city is Delhi. Right? Hope you're understanding guys what I'm trying to say. Let's try to understand. Let's try to do it. So we will write here df and df column name. So what we can write here, income group. Okay, so income group data is what? This is an income. Okay, not income group, but let's take the internet users once again. So internet user. Okay, and the greater than d. So this is how it is returning the data, or less than 20, less than 10. Okay, so these many rows it is printing, less than 3. Okay, so these many rows are coming now. So this is how it is filtering out. Okay, so less than 1, this is only row 1.9. So these many rows. Okay, so this is how you can apply the filters. Okay, so these all are filters. Okay, so you can do the AND operation between them. So this is you can try by yourself, guys, everyone. Okay, so this is the unique function. Let's try to understand about it. The unique, how to get the unique categories, right? So let's see about it. So which function it is? It is the unique. Okay, so df dot income group dot unique. What does it mean? So shows all unique. Unique means non-duplicate. Non-duplicate. Non-duplicate values are what? Unique values. Values present in the column. What's the column name? Income group. Right? Let's try to use it now. So it will display the category of the columns. Means it will display. See, if you will see in this data, so high, low, upper, medium, like that it is, and repeating values are there. So it will tell you the only the unique values. Income group, and here dot unique function we can apply. Not a big deal. Okay. So if you will see, so here you are saying high income, so it is not repeating. Then low income, it is also not repeating. Upper middle class income, okay, lower middle class income, right? And it is also telling the type of it. So this is the object type. Okay, so introduction to Seaborn we will learn in the next lecture about Seaborn. It is basically used for plotting the graph, but we can say it is used for advanced visualization. So right now we are not learning about it. We have learned till here. So let me just share this data with you so that you can practice. So I will suggest you guys to, to join this classroom so that you can get updated notes and everything. Okay, so let me just save this file as well. So what I have to post today. So we have to post today is day 9. It is day 9, right? It is day 9. Yes, it is day 9. Okay, so notes plus practice code. Okay, plus data. Pick name is Pandas Library. Okay, so let me just browse the nodes. So let's just go here, FSD. Okay, FSD content. Okay, let's just select this. Now let's just upload the code as well. So pandas, let's just take this pandas as well as just take this data. Okay, so you guys can practice, okay, while watching this video, and let me know whether you are practicing or not. And please try to join the classroom, guys, everyone. Okay, so let me just post it. Okay, so you guys can access this, and here is a code. With the help of this code, you can join this Google Classroom. Let me see how many of you have joined so far. Okay, Lakshman is there. Manikanta already also joined. And this is what Bodham Gamer also joined. Hamdard, Nitin, Ganesh, Drupati, Krunal, Shah, Shiva. So these many people has joined. I'll appreciate it, and please join guys, and also do the practice. And in the next video, we will discuss more about it. Right? Please be consistent, be regular. Okay, if you really want to become a data scientist, right? So you have to learn daily, right? So thank you everyone for giving your valuable time.